Hi, in this episode I'm talking about why I don't release legal fish. First of all, they're made out of meat. Good meat. Quality seafood. Have you priced quality fish at a seafood market lately? I'm not talking about tilapia or farm-raised catfish at Walmart. I'm talking about wild-caught seafood. It's expensive, and even if it hasn't been frozen, it's not very fresh. Often the eyes are cloudy and it's looking a bit worse for time in transit and sitting out at the market. Reminds me of the joke, is that fish fresh? It was fresh when we caught it a couple weeks ago. I can appreciate that some folks have a lot more money than I do and they prefer to buy their favorite seafood. I can appreciate that some folks are much better fishers than I am and can catch plenty of their preferred table fare and throw plenty back also. God bless y'all.
There is a Redeemer, Jesus, God's own Son, precious Lamb of God, Messiah, Holy One.
But my medical advisors are telling me to lower my cholesterol, and eating more wild-caught fish is an important part of my overall health plan. And in Genesis chapter 9, God tells us that He has given us all the animals to eat. And in Mark 7, Jesus declares all foods clean. I pray for fishing success as a part of praying for my daily bread, and I give thanks for the meals that God provides. God often provides more abundantly than our family needs. I tithe 10% of my fish and game. Usually, my fishing guests have dibs on the fish we catch, and even after that, I have plenty to take home. But as Scripture says, he who gathered much did not have too much, and he who gathered little did not have too little. In these inflationary times, there's usually somebody hungry enough to be glad for any surplus fish I may have. Often needy families, retired military veterans on fixed incomes, or hungry college students wanting more high-quality protein in their diets. It's a no-brainer for me whether to throw a legal fish back or to keep the high-quality food for a family that can make good use of it. I don't buy the reasoning that the management of sport fisheries is the rare area of government where existing regulations are insufficient. I don't think I need to add rules to the rules already in place to help the fishery. Stakeholders do not need to take it upon ourselves to exert peer pressure beyond obeying the law to protect vital resources. Having studied fisheries science and authored a number of scholarly scientific papers in fisheries science, it's clear that the fisheries in most states are well managed and that many states have regulations that are slightly tighter than really needed to preserve the resource. Fisheries managed by the feds tend toward the overly restrictive side regarding sport fishers. Environmental factors other than overharvesting of sport fish are the bigger threats, and most fishers would do well to zoom out and give more thought to the broader food web and ecosystem rather than being hypersensitive when others harvest legal fish of their favorite species. We do well to think more about making a bigger pie than squabbling about how to divide the existing fisheries pie. I'm also an enthusiast of liberty, based both on biblical and constitutional principles. I don't buy the notion that other fishers are somehow harming me by keeping legal fish, nor am I harming them. For me, fishing is a contest with the fish, not with the other fishers. If fish are so scarce somewhere that I'm worried about the fish legally killed by others, I try and find one of the many places where the fishery resource is more abundant. but I think about fishery productivity first in terms of the ecosystem fertility and the lower trophic levels, the phytoplankton, the zooplankton, and the forward species. Fish grow fast and there are usually enough to go around in strong ecosystems with strong food webs. I've learned to resist the temptation to become jealous of the success of others. Sure, I'll post pics on social media, but for me, it's praise and thanksgiving for God's wonderful creation and His provision of my daily bread in answer to prayer. Jesus taught His disciples that each of them was worth more than a whole flock of sparrows. It's not too big a stretch that those who eat at my table are worth more than a whole school of fish.
I tremble at the thought of Judgment Day. Lord, I am not ready. Please don't return just yet, for all my sins